Welcome to the Dark Domain. Today, I'm going to talk about Ms. Marvel. I know you probably been on the web. A lot of you have been watching a lot of spoilers, trailers, or which bunch of stuff. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. I will say this: it's a good setup. One, which probably most of you already know, is they introduced the possibility of mutants by the end. So that's your spoiler. My bad. Last episode they do play the theme song to X Men '86, which is awesome. But I will say this: now the setup is perfect. Um, let's see. So yeah, they did change a lot of things, and this me as a person that's read the comic books and knows the character really well. So I will tell you this: yes. Did they change a lot about it? Yes, because in the comic books she is part Inhuman, which Inhumans are kind of like mutants, but not. They get their powers from Tenegener's crystals, and that's how they get their powers. And it's like turning of age. That's how you get your powers. So they did change a little bit. The idea of the bangle is okay. One that I have to give 100% props to is the integration of uh, I want to say Hindu culture or the Indian uh, the Indian culture, whatever, doesn't matter which, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's just, that was awesome. I loved it. It, 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 it brought her character out more to understand just her, what she is. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. So people say there's a lot of Easter eggs in there, and there is. It took me a while that I had to like literally look at it, and then I saw it. Is it has ties into Shang-Chi, the Ten Rings, which took me a while. I didn't even notice it until like I rewatched it again, and I was like, oh shit, I personally did not even notice it. So that was awesome. Um so there's a Shang-Chi thing which is awesome. Uh I did like her powers slightly. Like, I mean, she did do what she does in the comic books. She did like, I think, two or three times she did it. One episode she grew really large, which, like, all right, that's one of her powers. Granted, none of her powers is because in the comic books she can shift her body. So basically, in the comic books, she makes herself look like Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel. They didn't do it here. The other big spoiler is there was a big debate. People was like, "Oh, she turned into it," which that is a good aspect that she might have, but no, clearly you saw she got sucked in somewhere and Carol Danvers popped out. Um, as a small TV series for I think it was 6 episodes. I think these are perfect in the middle fillers for Marvel's grand scheme of doing things. I think it's well done. Uh, you guys could have your plot points of if you're a follower of comic books or not, or you're first person watching or getting involved in the Marvel universe. Um, I would say do research. You have to do research. I mean, it's one of those things like you have to. Like, if you're going to sit there and really give your opinion based on it, like it's kind of like The Walking Dead. I watched The Walking Dead without reading the comic books. I'm doing it for a different reason than what most people do, and this is how I go into it. A lot of my friends that I work with, they're like, "Oh, you like everything." I'm like, I don't really like anything. If it captures my attention and has a story that I could somewhat follow, I have my way of critiquing and nitpicking, which is a lot different because I'm taking references from what I know comic book wise, and me as a fan of the comic book world and that mythos or the myths of those characters is if someone's going to be a director and portray it, I want to see it. So that's my perspective on it. You guys don't have to agree with it. I'm just giving you my perspective of what I think. Ms. Marvel was done really well. I love how it is. For 6 episodes, it did enough to what we'll probably eventually get later on when it becomes the Marvels, when it comes out. But I'm looking at it as a person who grew up reading them, watching them, just I'm enthralled in it. So my breakdown's different than anyone that's like, oh, maybe never read a comic book, but is saying something about it. Was positive. I'm not knocking them. That's their opinion on their view on it. I'm going attacking and letting you guys know is any questions you have or any just random thoughts. Even question me. Like it's fine. It's just I'm giving you my point and perspective of I see the aspects of the comic. I see where they change it. I understand a little bit why they did it, but at the same time, as a fan, you want to see what at least a little bit more of the comic book in it without having to changing too much. I can understand changing certain things because I understand like filming and time wise, like you can't really do it. Like there'd be way too much explaining to do, especially through all of either from DC to any. I think cartoon animations of the comic books do really well to do it because they have no limitations. Live action, you're limited. So I understand if you have to nitpick and cut away, that's fine. But give us a little bit. But that's my point. I'm gonna rate this movie within the dark domain of skulls. Well, not movie. Sorry, TV show. For 6 episodes, I'm gonna give for 6 episodes hitting the ground, doing what it needs to do. I'm gonna sit there and give it 6.5. Could have done a little more, but it was good for bringing this character into the fold of the MCU. So 6.5. It's really good. I enjoy it. Um, I'll watch it again. Um, so please follow, hit the subscribe button. The next one I will be talking about is a TV show that I don't know if it's on FX, but I think it's airing on Hulu. I had a friend suggest it to me. It's called The Bear. One of the main characters is from Shameless. Forgot his name at the moment, but I enjoyed it. It has a lot of things that me when I worked in restaurants. It's literally kind of how a restaurant kind of works, or in the kitchen. But it's really good, great story. It's 8 episodes, worth the watch to binge real quick for one season for right now. I really personally can't wait. So the next one it will be The Bear, and then I'm gonna go back into Thor, and then I want to really do touch up on something with. I know everyone else has already done it, and I don't care, but I really want to touch on Moon Knight for those that don't really know it and give you some insight on it, a little bit more perspective on it. So please follow me, subscribe. Also, hit me up if you have questions about just a story you're reading that you don't really know about. Doesn't matter if it's Marvel or DC. Doesn't matter. I know pretty much most of them. If I don't, I'll try to give you the best answer I could from what I do know. But please hit me up. Welcome, and for those who are new, welcome to Dark Domain. Those that are following already, I'll see you back soon with another good review, and I'll let you know. Ms. Marvel 6.5 in the Dark Domain Skull, and it is a decent watch. Catch you guys later.